we're here this afternoon doing some testing on a Kinsey planter, as you can see, and in this field realistically we're 2 or 3 good drying days away from being able to plant. You can make a mud ball out of this field, as you can see, but the purpose of us being in this field is to actually test and evaluate how different planter attachments and modifications perform in higher moisture soils. Obviously nobody wants to be planting into soil conditions that are this wet. There's mud sticking to the RID tyres here, as you can see. Nobody wants to be planting in these conditions, but I'm going to guess most producers plant in these conditions at least some of the time, meaning maybe 90 or 95% of their field is in good condition, dry, good planting conditions, but for whatever reason there's low spots in the fields, different soil types, heavy residue areas such as what we're seeing here in a set of no-till conditions. We've got corn stalks, we've got wheat stubble, we've got soybean residue. In this heavy residue set of conditions, you part the residue away and the soil's wet underneath. So it's pretty common to see these conditions at least within part of many growers' fields, especially if they're in a no-till system. So what we're running here, for example, is a 1360 floating row cleaner with the depth bands. Followed shortly behind is the UMO 100 single disc fertilizer opener. We're then running a pair of RID tyres, which even in wet conditions like these, we found do help allow the sidewalls to flex upwards to help reduce sidewall compaction. We've then got a Keaton seed firmer in here. We like the Keaton seed firmer, especially when used in conjunction with spike wheels, because it is important to press those seeds or lock those seeds down into the bottom of the seed slot. In this example, we're using a single 15-inch wheel alongside the smooth wheel. We found this in many conditions to be a good combination because it gives you depth control with the smooth wheel and spading action with the other side, which basically allows you to close the seed slot from the bottom up. So closing the seed slot pretty well here, despite poor planting conditions, wet soils as we can see, we've still got pretty good slot closure, even in these conditions. Followed lastly by the drag chain that just smooths down the seed slot, helping to level it out so you get more uniform soil drying and soil warming to get more uniform emergence. So a lot going on here. We're also going to be testing this year the performance or the difference in fertilizer placement, placing liquid nitrogen with a single disc fertilizer opener to the side and under the row compared to just dribbling liquid fertilizer on top of the row to the side. There's a lot of sets of conditions where we've found advantages to getting it in the soil rather than dropping it on the top of the ground. If it doesn't rain and you do dribble the nitrogen on top of the ground, your roots are growing downwards from planting depth, and many times they don't access the nitrogen until it does rain. Okay, so we're going to be testing a lot of different things, but these are some of the things that we're looking at right now.